It's time again for Living Word on the Go small groups. The fall session begins this week. Don't miss out on this opportunity for fellowship, learning, and a chance to get to know others within this church body in a fun, friendly, intimate environment. Small groups meet every other week at various locations. We have 3 groups available for you to choose from. Following is a sample of and details about each one.
How can I be sure of my salvation?
How can I overcome temptation? How can I get victory over worry?
How can I find forgiveness?
Is there only one way to God?
Why do Christians have so many problems?
Why don't my prayers get answered?
Is there a sin God cannot forgive?
What is faith? What is the greatest commandment?
How can I be sure of my salvation? I'm David Jeremiah, and I've been asked that question many, many times through the years. It's a fair question, one I'm always eager to answer. In fact, it's life's most important question since all eternity hangs in the balance. It's one thing to become a Christian and be assured of salvation, but what happens if I sin again or struggle with my faith? How can I know if I'm still saved? If you have wondered about your own salvation, you'll want to join me for today's edition of Turning Point. I'm beginning a series entitled 10 Questions Christians Are Asking. And today, I'll answer the most important one of all. How can I be sure of my salvation? I hope you'll stay tuned for today's edition of Turning Point.
Sure, life is full of questions. There are huge challenges facing Christians today. But you don't have to let the questions of life drag you under. There are answers in God's Word, and now Dr. David Jeremiah showcases them in this profoundly practical study. The instructor is Jim Longacre, and this group meets every other Sunday beginning tonight in the Fellowship Hall from 6:30 to 8 p.m. In All In, Mark Batterson issues a call to believers to dethrone their personal desires and go all in for Christ. You may feel afraid to surrender your whole life to Jesus, but when you do, you'll discover that's when the real adventure of faith begins. The instructors are Bob and Barb Allen, and this group meets every other Sunday beginning tonight at the home of Janet Luzier from 6:30 to 8 p.m.
Evangelism is
giving to others what Christ has given me.
Evangelism is a process.
There was something just in me that was saying, I need to tell everyone I know about this.
I think that God has put in the heart of every believer the desire to reach out.
We have people all the time stopping by, dropping off papers and trying to come in and talk to us.
Yeah, well, I've been approached several times.
Not recently, no.
My mom always used to ask me to believe in Jesus and stuff.
Televangelists on TV, being like, you have to be a Christian.
I used to have a friend that would invite me to go to her church. They didn't really ask me about my faith or anything because I guess I was already there, so that was half the battle or something.
They come to you like, we must save you. I've been mandated to save you.
They feel very pressured, and I don't like the feeling of being told what I have to believe in.
Generally, I get the impression that they know I'm wrong and they pity me because I'm going to go to hell.
If it's pushy, inferring that their way is the only way, it turns me off big time.
Please try to conversate with me first and don't automatically just assume and jump into the conversation on religion.
I'm from Missouri. You got to show me.
I think it's okay to believe whatever you want to believe as long as you don't shove it down somebody else's throat and, accept people for who they are.
I think when a person's ready to change, they'll feel it.
People have to choose on their own to want to participate in that kind of thing. They have to want to experience that.
Part of me sometimes wants to just always say more, but the fact is, I'm moving at God's speed, not mine.
Maybe we aren't even going to be the ones. Maybe it's worth sowing the seed so that someone else can come along and reap.
I felt this responsibility that it was up to me, and then, God gently reminded me that you tell and I do.
I am so filled with joy, and I just really want to share that with people.
I want to be an outward-focused Christian because it's much more fun, it's much more challenging, it requires a lot more faith.
When God pours into you, I think you have to be willing to let it flow out of you.
Outflow, everyday outreach for everyday people. Here is your guide to not reaching, but letting God's love fill you with joy that flows out from you to your family, friends, neighbors, and the world. Outflow inspires a vision for living an outward-focused life and provides practical tools to make that vision a reality. Outflow meets every other Thursday beginning September 15th at 7 p.m. at Haven Place on Main Street in New Haven. There you have it. We hope that you will join a small group this fall and allow God to minister to you and through you as you build relationships with others in our church and in our community.